Coach, what are your thoughts on your team's performance in Orlando last weekend?
Yeah, I think overall much better performance than what we saw up in Peoria. And on the weekend, we ended up 3-2. We opened up the weekend with Harvard, and unfortunately, we fell a little short in that game. But I was really proud to see our team and just their ability to constantly bounce back in that game. And it was one of those games. There's a barn burner. I mean, Harvard scored, we scored, Harvard scored, we scored, and really, when I look back, I was just happy to see how well our offense did, and we're finally finding ways to score runs. So in that second game, we played the Czech national team, and although it was an exhibition game because those games don't count toward our record, or that game doesn't count toward our record or our stats, I thought it was a great opportunity for our students to compete against an international team, because majority of our student athletes will never have a chance to do that. And we were able to face a really good pitcher, and she's probably one of the best pitchers that I've seen in a really long time, and I think our student athletes would probably say the same. But we pitched it well. Courtney and Jamie actually started that game and gave us strong innings, and Courtney Vierstra came in on the back end and did really well, and we played outstanding defense. So, we keep talking to our kids about, in order to win and to win at a consistent level, it has to start with pitching and defense, and I was really pleased to see the way that we played that game. And when you face a good pitcher, and we're going to face a lot of good pitchers this year, it comes down to getting that one timely hit, and that's exactly what we were able to do. And that was Kat Lee. She came up, I think she had 2 strikes, it was 2 outs, it was the 9th inning, and she comes up and hits a base hit up the middle, and we beat the Czech national team 2-1. So that was a lot of fun. Saturday morning, we opened up with South Carolina, and it was just a tough game. It was a tough loss, but I was proud to see the way that our student athletes responded in that Morgan State game, and we were finally able to put all 3 together. We scored 9 runs. Very pleased with Johnny and Kat. They hit their first home runs of the year. I think that they were responsible for 5 of the 9 runs that we were scored. And in order for us to be successful this year offensively, those 2 are a big part of that. So I was very happy with their performances. And again, Courtney came out and pitched a complete game and didn't give up an earned run. And again, for her to do that, the defense has to play behind her, and they did an exceptional job. So ended Saturday night on a good note. And then Sunday's game was another fun one. We go out and Lehigh puts up 4 on us in the first inning, but our kids were resilient again, and we were able to come up with the win and win 5-4 in that 7th inning. And, again, Courtney Vierstra had a great game, didn't give up any earned runs, and the defense, played well behind her too. And just to have ended that weekend, or ended this past weekend, the way that we did was a lot of fun. And, we go into the 7th inning and we're tied 4-4. And Megan Wirtz does did what she's been doing for us all year, and finding ways to get on base. And she gets hit by a pitch. Haley drops a bunt down and ends up beating it out. And, Ashton Sloan comes up, she bunts, and now we've got bases low, or Ashton, it was actually a sac bunt. Now we've got runners on second and third, and Johnny's up. They intentionally walk her, and then Kat Lee comes up with a walk-off single. So, again, a lot of fun, and just a great way to end our trip to Orlando.
You mentioned a few players in particular already about having good performances this
Yes.
past weekend. Could you talk a little bit more about some of these players?
Yes, first and foremost, our game starts with what we do in the circle, and I thought Courtney Vierstra had an outstanding weekend. She really did. She threw 2 complete games for us and just had solid performances, and especially for a freshman, to see her already have gotten better in week 2 is huge for us. So really pleased with where she's going and where she's heading. And from an offensive standpoint, Megan Wirtz has been our most consistent hitter all year. I think she hit .556 this past weekend. But the biggest thing is she finds ways to get on base. So not only is she a great hitter, she's got speed so she can lay down a bunt. She's walking, she's getting hit by pitches. So she's been great in the leadoff spot for us. We had actually tried her in one game in the 3-hole because of her power. And then after that, just said, she's our best hitter right now. We need to let that kid have as many at-bats as she can get. So very happy with Megan Wirtz. And our middle of the lineup is starting to come together too with Ashton Sloan, our freshman. She really stepped it up for us this past weekend. Johnny, like I had mentioned earlier, is doing a great job. And with Kat came up huge in 2 games and, hitting walk-off singles for us. So she's definitely been doing a good job. And Haley Tran is someone who we have in our 2 spot. And I think she's a situational hitter for us. So she's the type of kid who we need out there. She's a slapper. We need her to move runners. She hit for a pretty good average this weekend. So somebody else that I've been very pleased with her performance. And defensively, she's been doing a great job. And from a defensive standpoint, I was really pleased just overall with our team with what we're starting to do from a defensive standpoint. So like I said, it was a great weekend down in Florida, and I think our student athletes just enjoyed just being out there in the sun and getting the opportunity to play.
What do you hope to accomplish this upcoming weekend in Louisville?
Yeah, I would like us to just continue to build off the momentum that we had this past weekend and close this past weekend with. And like we tell our student athletes, it's a process, it's a long season, and our goal is just to continue to get better every weekend. And again, I was just very happy with the way that we ended this past weekend in Florida and hope to just build off of that this weekend in Louisville.
You play University of Alabama, Birmingham, Louisville,
Yes.
Maryland, and IUPUI this weekend. What are you expecting to see from these teams?
Right. Well, I haven't had that much time to really dive in hard into what these teams are doing. But first off, it's going to be a tough weekend because all 4 teams are going to be good teams. And we go down there and it's a Saturday, Sunday tournament, so no games on Friday. But we open up with UAB. And by record, it seems as if they're struggling a bit. However, they've played some really good teams. They've already played Stanford. They've played Michigan. They've played UCLA. So they've played great competition, which means they're seeing good pitching and they're playing at a high level. So I'm actually not all that familiar with UAB's program because we've never played them since I've been here. But I know that traditionally they've been a very good team. So I expect them to come out, and I expect it to be a very good game. After that, we play Louisville. Louisville's a hot team right now. Overall, they're 10-4. They went 4-1 down in Orlando this past weekend, and we were actually able to see them play a little bit, which was nice to kind of get a scout on them. But they've got a couple of kids in their lineup right now that are swinging the bat well. One in particular is Caitlin Ferguson, their shortstop. So we've got to figure out a way to just kind of hold her down for a bit. And they've got 5 pitchers on staff, but they really only have 2 pitchers who are seeing majority of the innings. And one of those is their freshman pitcher, Danielle Watson, who I'm actually pretty familiar with just because I saw her out recruiting a lot. So, they get to play at home. And they're a very good team out of the ACC. So I expect that to be another tough game. On Sunday, we open up with Maryland and another team who's probably, wish their record was a little bit different. But again, they've also played some really good competition. I know that they played Auburn twice. I believe they also played UCLA. But, I know their coach really well, Coach Julie Wright. And I know that those kids are going to come out, they're going to be competitive, and they're going to give us everything that they have. So I expect them to put up their best fight against us. They've got a couple of kids that are swinging the bats pretty well in their lineup. But the biggest thing is they got one good pitcher that, I'm not sure if we'll see her, but I know that kid's she's going to throw, and she's going to throw the ball well. Then we're going to close the weekend off with IUPUI. And again, it's a team that's maybe struggling a little bit. However, sometimes I don't put a lot of stock into numbers and what the stats are, what their record shows, because I know as well as our team that on any given day, a team can be great. And that's going to be the message to our team, is to not worry about what they've been doing against other people, but to make sure that we take care of business, because I know that IUPUI is going to come out and give us a great game as well. So, overall on the weekend, we're looking forward to it. I think our kids need this day off. It was a lot of travel. It was a long trip. We didn't get back into town until late last night. So today's their day off, but I know that they'll be ready to come back out tomorrow for practice and get back at it, because they know what we've got going on this upcoming weekend. And even though, we have to prepare for our opponents, what I always tell our kids and what our kids know is that we've got to be at our best, which is most important. So just looking forward to getting back out this weekend and competing in Louisville.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.